Imagine standing on the shores of the Red Sea. The sun reflects off crystal clear water. Palm trees sway gently in the heat. Tourists laugh, sip drinks, and prepare their scuba gear for another day of adventure. Everything about this place suggests leisure, escape, and indulgence. Yet beneath this calm surface lies a secret operation so dangerous that discovery would mean death. This is not merely a vacation resort. It is a disguise. A lie built to save lives. The Red Sea Diving Resort tells the astonishing true story of how a small group of Israeli Mossad agents ran a fake luxury diving resort in Sudan to secretly rescue thousands of Ethiopian Jews trapped by famine, war, and persecution. It is a story of courage hidden behind ordinary routines, of deception used not for power but for compassion, and of how far human beings are willing to go when the cost of doing nothing becomes unbearable. The story begins in Ethiopia during the late 1970s. The nation is collapsing under the weight of political chaos. A brutal military regime rules through fear, and civil war tears the country apart. Famine spreads rapidly, destroying entire regions. Crops fail, food disappears, and aid rarely reaches remote communities. Amid this suffering lives the Beta Israel community, Ethiopian Jews whose presence in the region dates back centuries. For generations they have lived modest lives, farming the land, practicing ancient religious traditions, and remaining largely isolated from the outside world. But as Ethiopia destabilizes, they become increasingly vulnerable. They are viewed as outsiders, their faith questioned, their loyalty doubted. Armed groups raid villages, steal livestock, and murder without consequence. Government forces offer no protection. Hunger becomes constant. Disease spreads unchecked. Children grow weak. Elderly members of the community die quietly. Despite everything, the Beta Israel cling to their identity. They pray in secret. They teach their children who they are. They whisper stories of Jerusalem, a homeland many have never seen but believe exists beyond suffering. As conditions worsen, rumors begin to circulate. Some say Israel is aware of their plight. Some say rescue might be possible. At first, these whispers feel like fantasy. No one knows how such a journey could happen. Ethiopia is surrounded by hostile borders. There are no legal routes out. But desperation eventually outweighs fear. Families begin leaving their villages at night, carrying only what they can. They walk for weeks, sometimes months, through deserts and mountains. Many collapse from exhaustion. Children die in their parents' arms. Elderly travelers are buried along the path. Bandits attack caravans. Soldiers shoot on sight. By the time survivors reach refugee camps in neighboring Sudan, they are broken physically and emotionally. Yet Sudan offers no safety. Camps are overcrowded. Food is scarce. Disease is rampant. Violence is common. Worse still, Sudan is officially an enemy of Israel. The refugees are trapped, unable to return home and unable to move forward. They are slowly dying, unseen by the world. Thousands of miles away, in Israel, intelligence reports confirm what is happening. Mossad agent Ari Levinson studies the information and feels a growing sense of shame. Ari is a seasoned operative, trained to compartmentalize emotion, yet the suffering of Ethiopian Jews affects him deeply. He believes Israel exists to protect Jews everywhere, not just those whose stories fit political convenience. Within the Israeli government, the issue is dangerous. Sudan is hostile territory. Any Israeli operation there could spark an international incident or military retaliation. Official intervention is rejected. Diplomats argue caution. Military leaders warn of escalation. Ari refuses to accept paralysis. He argues relentlessly, insisting that doing nothing is morally indefensible. Eventually, the Mossad authorizes a covert mission under strict conditions. Israel's involvement must never be revealed. If the operation fails, those involved will be disavowed. They will be alone. Ari proposes an idea so strange it sounds almost absurd. He suggests creating a legitimate business in Sudan that would allow foreign operatives to operate openly without suspicion. While researching the Red Sea coastline, he discovers an abandoned Italian-built diving resort. Once intended as a luxury destination, it failed years earlier and now lies empty, buried in sand and neglect. Its isolation makes it ideal for secrecy, yet its infrastructure could plausibly support tourists. Ari's plan is simple in theory and deadly in practice. Reopen the resort as a real business. Attract real tourists. Use the location as a staging ground to secretly evacuate Ethiopian Jewish refugees by sea and air. The absurdity of the cover may be its greatest strength. No one would suspect a resort full of divers and vacationers. The plan is approved. Ari assembles a small team of Mossad agents, each chosen for adaptability and nerve. None are trained hotel managers. None are professional divers. None are chefs or tour guides. They will have to become all of these things. Upon arrival in Sudan, the danger becomes immediate. The country is governed by corruption and paranoia. Foreigners are watched closely. Bribes are expected. One mistake could lead to imprisonment or execution. When the team reaches the abandoned resort, they find buildings filled with sand, broken generators, and no running water. Still, they begin rebuilding. They import diving equipment, generators, and supplies. They hire local workers. They register the business with Sudanese authorities. They advertise in European travel guides. Slowly, impossibly, the resort comes back to life. Ari forms a tense relationship with Abdul Ahmed, the local Sudanese official overseeing the region. Abdul is suspicious but pragmatic. He accepts bribes and enjoys the prestige the resort brings. Though he never fully trusts Ari, he allows the operation to continue. Against all expectations, tourists arrive. Real tourists. Backpackers, divers, adventurers seeking untouched coral reefs. The Mossad agents fully embrace their roles. They guide dives, serve drinks, host dinners. By day, they are hotel staff. By night, they plan rescue missions. The irony is constant. Tourists sunbathe meters away from secret evacuation routes. Every guest is a risk. Every question could expose them. Ari visits the refugee camps to coordinate rescues. Nothing prepares him for what he sees. Children with distended stomachs from starvation. Women assaulted by guards. Men beaten for sport. Bodies carried away daily. Ari knows time is running out. The first evacuation is planned. Under cover of darkness, small groups of refugees are transported in trucks across the desert. They arrive at the coast terrified, unsure whether this is salvation or another betrayal. Israeli naval commandos approach silently offshore. Rubber boats ferry refugees from the beach. Sudanese patrols pass dangerously close. The mission succeeds. Dozens reach Israel safely. For the team, the impossible suddenly feels real. Operations continue, and with each success, the risks grow. More refugees arrive. Sudanese patrols increase. Intelligence officers ask questions. Tourists wander freely. The agents barely sleep. Ari carries the heaviest burden. He must decide who is rescued first, knowing those left behind may die. Some refugees do not survive long enough to be saved. The guilt weighs heavily on him. After a near discovery at sea, the Mossad shifts tactics to covert airlifts. Israeli planes land at night on abandoned desert airstrips without lights. Refugees run toward the aircraft in silence. One mistake means death. In one mission, Sudanese forces nearly intercept the plane. It escapes by seconds. The margin for error is gone. Suspicion intensifies. Abdul Ahmed notices inconsistencies. Sudanese intelligence raids the resort. Soldiers search rooms while tourists look on. The agents hold their cover, barely. Mossad headquarters orders the mission shut down. The risk is too great. Ari refuses to abandon those still waiting. Against orders, he plans one final evacuation. The largest yet. Hundreds of refugees move across the desert as Sudanese forces close in. Israeli planes land amid chaos and distant gunfire. At the last moment, the refugees board. The planes take off. Ari and his team flee Sudan, abandoning the resort forever. The film concludes by revealing the truth. These missions, later known as Operation Brothers, Operation Moses, and Operation Joshua, rescued thousands of Ethiopian Jews. Many built new lives in Israel. Many carry scars that will never fade. Ari reflects on the cost. Lives saved. Lives lost. Deception used in service of humanity. The Red Sea diving resort ends not as a celebration of espionage, but as a reminder that sometimes the bravest acts in history hide behind the most ordinary masks, and that compassion, when paired with courage, can change the fate of thousands.